In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
This is America's day. This is democracy's day. To restore the soul and secure the future of America requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Welcome to A Conspiracy in the Force, the show where we examine parallel conspiracies in a galaxy far, far away and a galaxy not so far away. The show is designed as an introduction to modern-day conspiracy theories by using Star Wars, one of the most beloved fictional universes, as a point of reference. Let's begin. Hey, Conspiracy Kyle here. If you like this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. It greatly helps out the show, and it's much appreciated. Also, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at conspiracy_Kyle, and that's conspiracy with a K. Also, follow me on YouTube at Conspiracy Kyle, once again with a K. And also, now you can find me on the Rockfin Network at rockfin.com with new exclusive content. And a special announcement, coming up this Friday, August 13th, I'll be doing my first live stream event on the Rockfin Network. I'll be doing my presentation on intergalactic totalitarianism, parts 1 and 2, which I've discussed before on the podcast feed, but also bringing in part 3. I'll be going through all of that presentation, so I look forward to hearing you all and seeing you all there. It's going to be a great time, so come hang out. Now let's get to the show. This episode is titled, How Liberty Dies. The thing I talk about most on this podcast is the transition from the Republic to the Empire in Star Wars. It's a very fascinating topic, as it has many real-world parallels. The Republic was essentially a society with inherent freedoms, and each planet had senatorial representation in the government. The Empire was truly a dictatorship, where the Senate was abolished, the people were coerced into following the rule of the Empire, and freedoms were minimal. When you look at these stark differences, it's obvious to see that the government systems were far apart, and that one system of government was better for the people. In the Republic, they had liberty. They had freedom. When Palpatine made the decree reforming the Republic into the Empire to promote a safe and secure society, he was met with thunderous applause. Little did they know that they were cheering on an outright totalitarian system. All the people knew was that this government change was being done to make them safe. The government was looking out for them. Right. Because as we know, the government really cares about us. Let me read a passage from the Revenge of the Sith novel, which provides some more context here. This is the scene where Senator Padme Amidala and Senator Bail Organa are listening to Palpatine's grand address about the direction of the Republic in the Senate chambers. In the center of the Grand Convocation Chamber, Palpatine leaned up against the Chancellor's podium, as though he drew strength from the Great Seal on its front. This has been the most trying of times, but we have passed the test. The war is over. The Senate roared. The Separatists have been utterly defeated, and the Republic will stand. United, united and free. The Senate roared. The Jedi Rebellion was our final test. It was the last gasp of the forces of darkness. Now we have left that darkness behind us forever, and a new day has begun. It is morning in the Republic. The Senate roared. Padme stared without blinking. Here it comes, she said numbly. Bail shook his head. Here what comes? You'll see. Never again will we be divided. Never again will sector turn against sector, planet turn against planet, sibling turn against sibling. We are one nation, indivisible. The Senate roared. To ensure that we always stand together, that we will always speak with a single voice and act with a single hand, the Republic must change. We must evolve. We must grow. We have become an empire, in fact. Let us become an empire in name as well. We are the first galactic empire. The Senate went wild. What are they doing? Bail said. Do they understand what they're cheering for? Padme shook her head. We are an empire, Palpatine went on, that will continue to be ruled by this august body. We are an empire that will never return to the political maneuvering and corruption that have wounded us so deeply. We are an empire that will be directed by a single sovereign chosen for life. The Senate went wilder. We are an empire ruled by the majority, an empire ruled by a new constitution, an empire of laws, not of politicians, an empire devoted to the preservation of a just society, of a safe and secure society. We are an empire that will stand 10,000 years. The roar of the Senate took on a continuous boiling roll. We will celebrate the anniversary of this day as Empire Day. For the sake of our children, for our children's children, for the next 10,000 years, safety, security, justice, and peace. The Senate went berserk. Say it with me. Safety, security, justice, and peace. Safety, security, justice, and peace. The Senate took up the chant, louder and louder, until it seemed the whole galaxy roared along. Bail couldn't hear Padme over the din, but he could read her lips. So this is how liberty dies, she was saying to herself, with cheering and applause. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor, a free app that you can use to create your own podcast. It's the app that I've used to create my podcast, and it's great. Let me tell you a little bit about it. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit right from your phone or computer. You can add songs from Spotify directly into your episode. And the best part about it for me is that Anchor will distribute the podcast for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more platforms. Plus, you can make money off your podcast with advertising with no minimum listenership. It's really everything you need in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. I did a short video about this the other day, because the same kind of thing is happening in our world today, and has in history as well. When Biden was sworn in earlier in 2021, he made a speech about how it was his desire to bring unity to all of America. This speech about unity came on the heels of the radical left and mainstream media bashing the prior administration for 4+ years, and calling all their supporters crazy racists, rednecks, and all-around deplorables. Now, the point of this discussion is not to defend Trump or his administration and supporters, but the irony here is clear. How can you have unity if you've been pushing the opposite of unity before you were elected? So the sound of thunderous applause at Biden's inauguration was very concerning. Those in support of Biden somewhat saw him as the babyface character to Trump's heel character, to borrow from wrestling terminology. The babyface is a hero who comes in to save the day from the bad man, aka the heel, who had ruined everything. But the fact of the matter is, the new regime is pushing to destroy the country and divide us even further than under Trump. Here's some quotes from Biden's inauguration speech, and you'll see how similar this is to Palpatine's declarations we discussed earlier. Quote, "This is America's day. This is democracy's day. A day of history and hope, of renewal and resolve. The people, the will of the people, has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and secure the future of America, requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. America has been tested, and we've come out stronger for it. We will repair our alliances and engage with the world once again. We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal." End quote. So a few things you can see are very similar in these speeches. There's calls for unity. There's labeling this as a new day, aka Empire Day, and aka a new day for America. And also discussing how we've been tested and have overcome. And the biggest similarity of all is that every word of what was spoken by Palpatine and Biden were outright lies. Empty words by career politicians promising to their constituents all that they will do as their new leader. And in our world and the Star Wars world, what has come out since has been anything but unity. Divisiveness and government overreach become the new norm. Look at the vaccine rollout as well, and how people are now openly wishing ill will upon those who are unvaccinated, and are cheering on with thunderous applause more and more draconian tactics to lock us down and submit us to government control and authority. Social media personalities are now openly labeling the unvaccinated as criminals and even murderers. And those thunderous applause and cheers keep on coming. You used to wonder how the German citizens were brainwashed to believe Hitler's way was the best, but you have to wonder no more. People in any age can be persuaded very easily by trained liars and manipulative egomaniacs who can twist things around to make the bad seem good. This has to stop. Luckily, many around the world are waking up and taking to the streets to protest and rail against this oppression, but will it be enough? Who's to say? But to quote Poe Dameron from The Force Awakens, one of my favorite quotes from the new trilogy, as he's attempting to destroy the enemy's super weapon as night is falling, he says, quote, "As long as there's light, we got a chance." End quote. In closing, don't let thunderous applause fool you, and don't let liberty die. May the Force be with you.